Hey there, Darkstar here. I'm recreating a stream I did before because it's broken and it never posted on YouTube. Oh, some changes in YouTube today also. So this is a series where I've flown every plane in my arsenal up to that point, and now I have to go back and do some more because I have a few more planes now, but I'm saving them up to do, do a bunch at once. I'm going to try to get through this faster than I did originally because I've already done it. Okay, so I guess without further ado, if I can find my list, I'm going to do it in the same order I did before, even though this order didn't end up being perfect. I'm going to cut out some of the stuff I had in the original one that doesn't need to be there. And I'm going to substitute in one thing that should be there, and I'm going to shorten, like I say, shorten some of the stuff up. So the first up is the Airbus Beluga. As I have said before, I'm not a huge fan of the Airbuses. I did kind of like this guy. It's kind of funky. Let's see. Let's set as arrival here. Oh, you're going to make me go that way? Let's try going this way. Okay, well, whatever. I'm just, like, I'm not doing cold and dark starts and all that. I'm just spawning in on the runway, doing a quick flight. I'm going to try my head tracker some and see how it goes. I might probably just suspend it for the most part. Let's see what the weather's like here. I hope everything's working. Oh my goodness, this is this is not good.
Anderson Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 at runway 24 right, ready for departure. Departure to the west.
Okay, so this has the, I think that's any builds. Get that, what is that, weather radar going on there? Nice. Okay, well, we'll give it a shot here. We'll see if we can hang with the weather. This may not be such a good idea. Let's go with a little fair weather, although I do love some bad weather, but so I'm using Guam as kind of my test base, in part because it's far away from most things, and in part because it has two runways not that far apart. Alright, let's probably get some flaps out before we start stalling. Down. And I'm just kind of, you know, winging it, right? Okay, that should be full flaps. Climbed a little much there. Don't suppose we have a HUD? Nope, too bad. Interesting. This has some protection on it, or if it's just our rate of descent.
Hold up. Hold up.
Oh shoot.
Hold up.
150.
Some thrust reversers out. Spoilers up, flaps up. Still find the fly-by-wire concept difficult to deal with. It doesn't feel like a plane. It doesn't fly like a normal plane. But I don't know. This guy's kind of fun. It looks so funky and ginormous. But it's got a bunch of weird things where it opens up and everything. Up and everything real quick. What do we got? Ground. Maybe you can only open one at a time. Maybe I missed what's open here. Yeah, I think that is huge bulk area. Very slow to open. Alright, next up is the Robin Cap 10. And I prefer to take off from here, so let's just do that. Usually I just do a lap here unless it's a big plane, and then I do a straight flight. So that's what I'll do. I'm guessing this is a somewhat aerobatic plane because it has the marker on the wingtip there.
Ganya Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 at runway 6 left, ready for departure. Departing straight out.
Alright, let's try our head tracker. Let's get the head tracker actually set up right this time. Well, that's embarrassing. So it will nose flat on takeoff. Okay.
Ganya Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 ready at runway 6 left. Departing straight out.
Alright, let's get the brakes off this time. There we go. I'm sorry, are we a tail dragger? Wow, that thing comes off immediately. Yeah. So if you go back and watch the earlier streams, I'm like, I can't fly tail draggers. I'm terrible at tail draggers. So this should be a fairly fast rolling plane, pretty easy to control. Yeah, very nice. Now landing. How do we land the tail dragger? Very carefully. Okay, and then do we have flaps? Probably not. Usually these aerobatic planes don't have flaps. So we want to just get above the runway and slow it down. And I've been flying a 737 a lot, so my runway picture is probably like 30 feet above the runway. There we go. Whoa. It's taking off in just a light breeze here is the problem. Pull back so hard we take off again. Yep. Aerobatic plane, pretty nice, easy to fly. I like it. I've liked it before when I've flown it around a little bit. It's not as powerful as some of the other ones. Alright, next up is the DR400/100. I don't know what the slash is. I think before I was going into variants just to check. Okay, yeah, variant livery. I always like the Kenmore look. It's very retro. And even though it's another Robin, I do not believe this one is aerobatic. But I could be wrong.
Ganya Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 at runway 6 left, ready for departure. Departing straight out.
Okay, so we got your basic small plane set up. Mixture, parking brake, fuel selector, pretty basic radio and everything, no fancy GPS or anything. Oh, I already took the parking brake off. The look of this one's a little sketchy, like it's, I don't know who did it. It's maybe not the best model in the world. roll, even though we're close to the ground here. I wonder if this is a French plane. Slow, stable approach. It almost flies too easy. This thing is like rock solid when you put it somewhere. The Robin DR400. All right, next up is the, oh my goodness, yes. This one's a chore. The Spirit of St. Louis. I can't remember what the I read or heard something just recently about why this cockpit is built the way it is, and I cannot remember what it was. But you have a periscope. And I can't remember how you activate the periscope. Periscope lever. Now, in theory, you could look out here, but I don't think that's going to work very well. Maybe when we get tilted up a little bit. And you have no brake, so we're sitting here rolling along. You get your magnetos and all that stuff around here. Lot of yaw, a lot of adverse yaw. There we go. Now we got a little sight picture out the periscope window. And of course, like, tail draggers are famous for not really having good forward visibility when you're taking off and landing, so it's not the most surprising thing in the world. This plane does not have a lot of power though. And I could only imagine at this point you'd be like hanging out the window here. Other than very poor visibility and no power and all the other fun things about this plane, it flies about like every other plane in this game. I'm really starting to wonder if there's all that much difference. Some of them are a little different. Not great sounds, I would say. I'd expect a little more beefy, throaty kind of sounds. Sound package on this seems a little weak for what a historic plane it is. Ah! Hello? Up and down like we're broken. Okay, well we're just gonna go for any port in a storm here. Or at least sort of on the runway. And you have no brakes, so you wanna just coast over on into the grass and let it slow down. A lot of yaw, this plane, even at idling. Do they really not have brakes on this thing? Anyway, that is the basic operation of this guy. There's some weird stuff in here. There's this guy. There's this this doohickey over here you can set. You know, this is your pitch and roll, fuel, all that fun stuff. Turn indicator. There we are, finally rolling to a stop. I think that, yeah, pitch trim, throttle. I think there's something else. Five sandwiches, one boiled egg, two. May the winds be favorable to you until Paris. Bon appetit. Jimmy Blimish. Okay. And you got all these little valves for the fuel. They control the fuel. And yep. We're to St. Louis. I'm glad to have it. Never fly it. Another very historical plane is up next. It is the Wright Flyer. And I think there's somewhere special that you're supposed to launch this from. You know, I presume at Kitty Hawk or something. I have not ever done that, so I do not know. I hope this is getting everything. I wonder if it'll actually take off this way. Okay, so we're lying down in this thing, right? Set it down here. I do seem to recall there were like a few little things you could tweak or something. I don't remember what they were. don't seem to have any throttle. And it also seems to have some magical propulsive force. My rudder is sort of not working, but it is sort of turning, but it doesn't show up here at all. I don't know, maybe there wasn't one. You seem to only have, like, it stalls as a canard does, you know, from the front when you get in the air, but then it shoots off along the ground. See, just stalls. I don't know. It was working the other day. But I don't know. You might need to take it to Kitty Hawk or something. Alright, the Red Bull Racer is an extremely aerobatic plane, tail dragger. I wonder if I can align my head tracker when I'm not, don't have it on. I'm gonna try. Okay, let's see. Align the head tracker. Boom. Turn it on. Okay. Seems pretty good. And of course, what would you want in an aerobatic plane but a prominent G-force meter? And why is there no sound? Why do we have no sound? There's game sound. Sound. One thing I do is I turn the aircraft engines down fairly low. Let's try turning that up. Let's try restarting. That's weird. It's just silent. It's not normally silent. So there we go. Like right off the ground, right? And very fast roll rate. Very good control. Inverted flight. You know, endless inverted flight if you want it. You can roll right above the runway because it's so fast. And that's not, this is how fast it'll go. That's its actual roll rate. I don't like this no sound thing. I'm wondering if the next one's going to have sound problems. That's about all the more I can Hold it above the ground. Yeah, I do like that plane. I fly it when I want to fly something aerobatic. It is just, it might be a little too unrealistic. Alright, next up is the Zlin. Savage Cub, which might be a variation of this guy. No. This is a variation is what it is. I don't know why they did it this way, but yeah. So this is the normal Cub. And this is the Savage Cub. This is the Shock Ultra. We want the Savage Cub in this case. Because we're doing different packages and those come in different packages. Now, why do they combine them together? I don't know. Oh no, I don't want that. I don't know how these Cubs work.
Gagne Tower. Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 ready at runway 6 left. Departing straight out.
Can we get higher? I did finally solve my head tracker issue, which was a brightness issue. Okay, forward a little. The nose over. I feel like this is more powerful than a lot of the Cubs. I feel like this plane really wants to land on a dirt runway. Not a fast roller. Look how fast it's slowing down. So we can push the stall limit a little bit. There we go. Oink. Yep, good flyer. Seems more powerful than some of the other Cubs. Alright, next up is a helicopter, because we ran out of other things, so we got into the helicopters at this point. H125 is probably one of my favorite. This might shoot us up into the air. Okay, did not. Let's see if we can do a reasonable takeoff here. We're gonna fly over to the other helipad there. Glad that one of the default helicopters is pretty easy to fly. I don't know how realistic that is. I do have assists on, but some of the helicopters with or without assists are just impossible, so I don't know. I have traffic turned off, so that's why there's no cars. I don't like their traffic, for one, and I have enough frame rate issues as it is. So there's the airport. Bye. Traffic report while we're out here. The interplay between pitch and speed and everything in helicopters is pretty interesting. If I need to turn hard, I can add collective here, and then it'll turn a lot harder than it would have if I hadn't. Let's pop up and over, head over to the readiness center here, whatever that is. I'm not good at like realistic approaches, I would say. Try and swing out and around here and come around into the readiness center. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is where I usually have to go external. Not enough visibility with the head, even with the head tracker. All right, there we go. H125, excellent helicopter. Can't fly it, try turning assists on. Okay, last time we spent a lot of time on the blimp. This is blimp time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the blimp this time. Where's the blimp? What's it called? Airship. I cannot properly fly the Skyship. Some of the basics are kind of there. Kind of use these pipes and stuff to balance things. We can, I think, release air. I don't know what you're supposed to do here. Anyway, there's a lot of controls to figure out, dampeners and all these things. Apparently there's some pretty good tutorial videos on it. Throttle basically makes you go forward faster. It does have these fans. I'm pitching hard forward right now. Probably would not want to do that for real. .30 degrees max, it says. So I couldn't get the thing to come down last time. That's the throttles, right? Yeah. I was kind of hoping to get it to sink. Aw. Not sure why the fans point up, or if there's a way to redirect them, maybe? Yeah, see, I'm doing it again, where I'm going to spend a whole lot of time in here for just to be goofy. Okay, the controls don't do it. Anyway, kind of funky, something to learn if you're interested. Like I say, you'd probably want to go watch those tutorial videos. I wonder what left and right actually do. I think it just spins us, right? Alrighty, so that is the Airship Industries Skyship 600. Next is another helicopter, the Bell 407. No? Well, I think it is, but we'll have to see. Bell Model 407. This one can be used in flight seeing, I do believe. Maybe not. Maybe it's just called flight seeing. Can't remember how this one flies. I feel like it's a little harder to fly than the 125. Some definite wonkiness here. Kind of on some invisible block there or something. As responsive as the H125. Looks like I wouldn't want to try to fly down the streets with it, I think. Wobbles a lot more. But that wobble could be more realistic as well, based on how poor I'm flying it. But it's a pretty good helicopter overall, I think. Like it flies. You'll see in a minute when we get to the Aircrane what I'm talking about. So let's just try and land on the runway here. Try and do a stop. Okay, we'll land off the runway then maybe. Way higher than I thought we were. Yeah, not bad. Definitely flat. Okay, I do not know what the next aircraft is. An LS8. LS. I think that's what it was. DG Aviation. What? Dash 18. I'm in helicopter, that's the problem. This thing, glider, okay, that makes sense. Whew. Does it start us off with I did some of the glider courses and stuff, I learned a little bit. Oh, there's a dude there, I don't think we have a tow. Oh, yeah we do. Okay. Well, we lost our tow. So you wiggle your... like that for the tow. Okay, let's try restarting. Yeah, you wiggle your rudder to indicate you're ready to start. The guy's supposed to hold your wingtip up until you get going now. That guy right there. Okay. So now, let's see, there he is. So if we wiggle our rudder, there he goes. I think it's X to release the tow. Stay kind of just below them and behind them. Well, I don't know what you I don't know what you really want. Seems to work. Yeah, see it's got the you're not in the right position box. So let's see if we can circle around and come back in and land. There's something about ballast as well. I think you're supposed to dump the ballast. Let's just try and land going the other direction. I'm going to land on the grass. Also, we do have spoilers, I think. I don't know if we have spoilers or not.
Aganya Tower, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is 1 mile north, 900 feet, with Bravo to land.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, Aganya Tower, altimeter 2992, make left downwind runway 6 left.
That was terrible because I had to take my hands off the controls to use the thing, and I don't know why my spoilers aren't working. I'm pretty sure it has spoilers, but oh, I'm so looking forward to SU3 in a couple of weeks. So you can look at your settings in something less than 30 minutes. What? That is not right. No wonder. Oh, I forgot there's something about like if you click in that spot. Huh. There we go.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, did you copy?
There, spoilers go. Beautiful, perfect. Gliders are not my thing. Seems like fun. Now, for the thing that's even less my thing is the Erickson Skycrane, which is a plane, helicopter, if it even is appropriate to call it a helicopter. It's such a beast. I really want it to work right. And I was watching a video, and the guy is sitting in the back where the crane is. I'll show you in a second. And he's using the joystick back there to control the position of the helicopter. So the guy sits here, has a joystick here, and he's like, you know, translating the plane side to side. The sky crane, and positioning it. That's what I would like to see. What is this? Like, why does it want to take off when it's at a complete idle? Like, it'll lift the whole back up like that. Like, is that real? At a complete idle, this thing will lift, you know, a good portion of its weight off the ground? I don't know. Doesn't seem that flimsy to me when I'm looking at it. Why does it want to fly sideways? Is that its natural flying modality? Just something seems wrong with this thing. The rudder, right? And it's just all over the place. There you go. That's what I think of that. Don't like the Erickson Skycrane as modeled. I think it's an awesome aircrane helicopter. But this thing needs to be fixed. Alright, the G2, the Guimbal. Not that one. Also flies really well. Nice visibility in the cockpit. It's a baseball field and a football field. If anything, I think this has like it's too aggressive, maybe? Or maybe it's just really that light, I don't know. Like you go like this, you can't even hold like that's pitch all the way forward. It won't do it. It just pulls it myself up. Maybe that's realistic, I don't know. Other than that, I think it flies a lot like the 125. So we can land on a building. Sometimes the buildings aren't exactly solid. There'll be maybe portions of them that are solid and portions that aren't. Down on this right side here, maybe. Nope. Nope. We're hitting something there. Close enough. Yeah, wonky modeling. I'm not sure why they're like that. All right, next up are the balloons. So last time I did this one, and I really want to do this one. This one is a simpler one that has a motor on it. This is the basic one. And if you have it set up in your assistances, I think you start moored. I can never remember how to unmoor. I don't fly this thing very often. Whoa. Wink. Now if you're in any kind of a wind, it does crazy things. And now let me see, how did I do this? We're going to be hosed. So you don't want this to get too hot. I think it's this one that indicates the heat. And somehow the thing is stuck on. So you have like little, big, and we've cut this one off, so you could do little bursts or you could do bigger ones. And now we're going to have to wait for it to cool. Then as you start coming down towards the ground, you want to, you know, kind of watch your descent rate there. So this is the temperature in the balloon, so right now it's very hot. That's why we're going up. think that's our altitude, velocity upwards. And if you don't want to be flying upwards, you can do that. That will release. See the temperatures dropped here. They'll drop pretty rapidly. Now we can see we're falling. And I believe you can alt-click these. You can alt-click this one anyway. So then if you're looking up and using your mouse. Somewhere I have these bound to some control so that I can do them, but I don't know what it is anymore. But what I was doing when I was messing around with it is figuring out what temperature was kind of neutrally buoyant and try to keep it around that temperature at whatever level you're at. And then of course you can whoosh, fall to the ground, and if you can like point it, so this is like you're steering, but I don't know that it actually does anything. I couldn't tell it causing any direction other than just being used to point more into the center of the balloon there. So we're going down pretty fast right now. Chart of our altitude. I don't know how hard you really want to hit. So right around 50 C. But yeah, this changes really fast. And there's a bit of a delay from when you release the hot air until it's fully integrated into the balloon. Alright, there we go, there's the balloon. It's kind of fun. Got your EFB even for maps. It's kind of fun to take several people up at once if you get a chance to participate in a balloon flight. In flight, there we go. Balloon, the Jetson One. Oh, we're in the wrong group again. It's a large drone, really? Okay, your throttle kind of at some point. basic, normal. Level, it'll just kind of hover, or move you forward, or move you backwards, or lower you to the ground. That's all the way idle, and like it's not just killing the fans, it just lowers you to the ground. So you can have lower, hover, or climb. Automatically goes into a hover. Translate left, translate right. You know what I mean? The other left and right. So this one flies really well. I think it does what it's supposed to do. I haven't tried to go anywhere in it. Like normal mode is more like you're flying a drone. So like you pitch, your throttle controls the speed of the fans. Right, it's not as digital. I think it still is kind of keeping you from hurting yourself too much. And boom. That one works really well. There's another one that doesn't work so well. I don't remember which one it is. Joby. Oh, this one I think actually worked pretty well. And this one's kind of weird. Oh yeah, it's that one. Okay. So this one has a nice cockpit, Garmin avionics, like G1000 type system and everything. Pretty sweet. Okay, so it starts off like that. Like you can take off like a plane. But you can also, I don't remember how, press rightmost soft key to continue, fly, I'm trying to remember now. It has a mode where you can treat it more like a helicopter almost, or whatever you want to call it. So load. hover controls. Pulling back on the stick. Now we're just hovering. If I push forward on the stick, we're going to go down. And of course, rudder as well. Yaw. Or it will go forward like a plane and take off and fly more like a plane. It's got wingy-like things, which I guess give you more range. I would assume. Okay, killed the throttle. Such as it were. And you can see it transitioning into slow flight, hover flight. We're again pushing forward on the stick, makes it go down. Backwards in this case. Why are we going backwards? Boink. So that's pretty cool. And it works. We'll see one in a bit that doesn't work. Then we have one of my personal favorite crafts. Not necessarily to fly in the sim, but in general. In real life, I guess. I think this is the one and only gyrocopter in the game, which of course is a rotary wing lift.
Aganya Tower. Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 at runway 6 left, ready for departure. Straight out departure.
So I feel like you have to do something to kind of kick the blades around a little bit. Throttle, yeah. Parking brake. Rotary brake. Off. Maybe in this you don't. I think in real life you kind of got to give the blade a little push. Let's just see what. So it's push or prop, right? So as we throttle up, we're going to start rolling down the runway there, and the top prop should start spinning. If we're doing it right, and we are not. Throttle, rotor. axis. Okay. Test that. Okay, before takeoff. Battery is on, the start is off, fuel is open, fuel pump is on. Fuel, landing lights, strobes, doors, rotor brake off. We got that off, right? Parking brake release, warning and caution lights off. It doesn't say anything about how to get the rotor spinning, other than rotor brake off. There we go. So just like a helicopter would auto-rotate, the pusher prop is causing the spinning prop to auto-rotate-ish. Maybe that's not the right term for it, but... These things can be super simple and cheap in real life, and probably somewhat dangerous to do that. They just look like a lot of fun. And of course, if you do lose the engine, you have a helicopter blade spinning over your head. So you can, in theory, auto-rotate. Because just, you know, losing altitude will cause that top blade to spin up with energy. And let's see, let's shut it off. Just lost our engine. Gyrocopter. The next one is not one of my favorites, but it does work. It is the Powrachute.
Aganya Tower. Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511 ready at runway 6 left. Departing straight out.
And it's kind of this weird mechanic where it crumples up like automatically when you're like, so if you start going, it'll kind of start deploying. And there it goes. And then if we slow down, and it collapses back. That's kind of cool, but oof. just gonna take off and land straight ahead. That's about it. Powrachute. Alright, the next one is another decent helicopter, the R66. That is not how you find that. And I've been forgetting to go look at the variants, but this one has a spray one and a passenger one. This is for career mode. Let's take off from here this time, because that other one's broken. Got a nice sound. Okay, let's attempt an in-cockpit landing. Let's just kind of land over that way a little bit. Pads down there, maybe. I don't know where the helicopter landings are. Alright, let's see what do we got over here. down, Captain. This one has a lot of extra forces on it that the H125 doesn't have, even with the assists on. It may not honor the assists, I don't know. Well, that's definitely helping us. There we go, right above the ground. There we go. I think next up is another glider. The Stemme. Is this the powered glider? This may be the one with the little engine in it. Which kind of makes it not a glider exactly. Come on. We have a guest. Definitely have an engine. Redlining that engine. See if this has the spoilers on it before we I'm guessing that's spoilers? No, that was not spoilers. Bummer. Well, at least it's the default one now. There's some trick here where if you you click here and then while it's hidden like that, you click again. And then when it comes back, you'll be able to click through them without it reloading. Shoot. I didn't reload this. But this isn't working either. But now it switched to like glider controls? I don't know what it was doing. Okay, well I think that's the one we want anyway. So we have... Okay, that's definitely the spoilers coming out, right? Backwards for some reason. Oh yeah, one of the weird things in gliders is the the yaw is like really, really loose. And when you're turning, you have to be very careful about the yaw, you know, the rudder coordination and everything. Just in real life. Let's see if we can just kind of climb here for a minute. This has gear also. We can technically get the gear up. So there's the gear lever. See the gear coming up. Power. And for some reason that I do not understand, nothing ever wants me to have any trim capability. Does this thing have trim in it? Oh, come on, what's going on? Well, that trim is working. Of dead stick landings tonight. Bounce. Not too bad a one, but a little bit of one. We are a tail dragger, of course. Alright. I like that glider better than some of the others. And then one of the I think fairly broken planes, trains, automobiles, whatever you want to call it.
Algania Tower. Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511. Ready for departing straight out at runway 6 left. Delta 1511 copy. Hold short runway 6 left. Summit Delta Sierra Delta 1511.
inoperative. Warnings. Strobes on, navs on. We have some kind of very dim GPS screen here. Got 47 different engines. So much of this doesn't really work. Touchscreen though. Okay, throttle up. Okay. So like, I'm guessing that's supposed to go forward, but it's kind of just hovering there. And it almost has like digital velocity. It just kind of goes and then stops and goes and stops. I don't think it's really working right. Go up, go down. That's your throttle, basically, up and down. I'm like, why is it going sideways now? That's way too... That's weird. Why does it splash into the water when you touch down? Anyway, like I said, this one's kind of buggy. It's not as good as some of the other ones. The Jetson One is pretty fun. It's like the small personal one, and then the Joby you fly around in. Seems pretty well done. And that wraps up the last series of standard package. And I've already done deluxe, premium, and all of the aviator planes and other streams linked in the description. And I'm glad to finally get this one finished off and redone. Hopefully it'll post this time. Alright, have a good evening. Bye-bye.